And here we are, the home stretch. Welcome to the final of the Global Student Entrepreneur Awards. 6 brilliant young minds are about to compete for their share of $100,000. This is the ultimate student entrepreneurship competition. This is Start It Up. How does it work? For the finals, the students will only have 5 minutes to pitch to our judges, followed by a 10-minute Q&A. This is how they will be judged. Each student will receive a score out of 100. The majority of the scoring focuses on the entrepreneurs themselves, and this will be 70% of their score. The remaining 30% is based on the business and how well they integrate the 4 core values of the entrepreneurs organization. These values are trust and respect, thirst for learning, think big and be bold, and together we grow. It is my great privilege to introduce to you our 3 judges. First off, from the United States, best-selling author and YouTube star, Amy Landino.
What I'm looking for today is not just a great business idea, but a great business idea from a great person who is in it to win it. Not just to win this, but to win the impact that they are trying to make.
From Jordan, founder of Better Business and Khibrati, and EO Experience Portfolio Chair, Abir Kumsiye.
I can't wait to meet and hear all and every student. And I'm very, very excited to hear their stories, know their personal life, their business, their entrepreneurial journey. Today in particular, if I'm looking forward for something, I'm looking forward for the change makers, those who will change our world to the better good.
And from Ireland, founder of Cotter Agritech and winner of GSEA 2022, Nick Cotter.
So winning the 2022 edition of the Global Student Entrepreneur Awards was the pinnacle for me in terms of my entrepreneurial career. It was reaching the top of that mountain in terms of the journey that I was on. The person who is going to win this competition is the person who demonstrates that over the years that they have lived of life today, that they have been able to adapt to the challenges that they have faced, have been able to successfully overcome them, learn from them, and keep going.
Judges, I am so excited to have you all here for the finals. Amy, let me start with you. You are on stage all the time. What advice do you have for these students as they take the stage?
They just need to remember why they do what they do and who they do it for, and they're gonna wow us, I know it.
Abir, you are a super successful business owner. What advice do you have for these young business owners?
This is so exciting. I think the best thing for them is to trust themselves, think big, shoot for the stars. The world awaits them.
Nick, you won this competition last year. What makes a GSEA champion?
I think one of my favorite sayings is, he who has a why will bear almost any how. So really what I want to hear from these students is their why they do what they do, and the journey that they've been on to get to where they are and where they see the world going in the next 5 to 10 years.
Absolutely. And we're going to hear that why right now. Let's start it up. And now, our first student to pitch in this year's finals. She was mentored by Lynn Anstedt, and she is the founder of Alake Food Tech, a business that focuses on insect-derived biofood. Please welcome, all the way from Ecuador, Sofia Taday.
Mentoring Sophia was amazing. She's so easy to talk to, Understanding her concept has been incredible. Where she came from, how she got here, her journey has been nothing short of amazing. Her project is so big, and with global impact, the possibilities of the global impact are incredible. And I think her challenge is going to be shortening all that she's doing into 5 minutes. Sophia is just genuine and authentic, and she's very connected to her roots and where she came from, and she has such a deep appreciation of all that she learned from her father and her parents. Just genuine, authentic person. I think Sophia will win GSEA 2023. She's created an incredible process, a product, and some sustainable solutions for waste that could definitely impact the future ecosystem around the world and really help solve world hunger.
Sophia, welcome to the finals. Are you ready?
Yeah, for sure.
Amazing. Judges, are you ready?
Yes.
100%.
We are.
Sophia, your time to pitch starts right now.
Hi, I am Sofia Taday. I am biotechnology engineer student at SFA University. I am founder of LK Food Tech. Can you imagine a future with hybrid world overflowing with biodiversity, technology, and food accessibility for all? LK was created to bring you it and much more. As an indigenous woman of the middle of the earth, Ecuador, I grew up surrounded by beautiful combination of nature, volcanoes. But many years ago, my father told me how he, as a child, suffered severe malnutrition due to the unavailability of safe food and his family low economic resource, as happens to millions of families around the world every second. Then I remember one a day my father, who was a farmer, took a worm from the air with his hands and swallowed it. And he told me the insects are the most nutritious food you could ever eat. I didn't believe him. But many years later, and throughout my life as a student, I faced huge challenge where my entrepreneurial experience, my effort, and my perseverance became me to a first Ecuadorian indigenous woman with a college degree in STEM, getting to travel around the world, achieving several recognitions, and understanding that the insects are the real super machines of the future, but adaptive to innovative applications. Finally, I figured out how to bring together who I am, my roots, my people, my ancestral knowledge, with my passion and love for tech, to create the real innovation of tomorrow, and it is called Ancient Future Tech. With this great insight and realizing myself, my ability to adapt to change, I know that entrepreneurship will save me, and I started my company, which is solving this huge global problem, the food insecurity that involves malnutrition, climate change, and inequality opportunities for small agro-businesses, according to United Nations latest reports. But LK has a perfect solution for it. Insects Inc., the name of our product, is a circular system with intellectual property registration that we have designed to convert the industrial and domestic organic waste into food. Insect-based flour and biofertilizers without land use 5 times less water and produce 100 times less greenhouse gases than animal meat productions. Also, our system is industrially scalable, and it is 18 times cheaper than the currently system on the market. Furthermore, the products we can produce we manufacture with our system, such as insect-based flour, is 3 times cheaper and has a higher protein value than the soybean flour, the most important flour globally. We came up with a promising, sustainable, and unique solution around the world. Insects Inc. can be produced as insect flour, and this can be a protein supplement for humans, for animals, and our fertilizers can be aimed to the entire agro industry. We have infinity possibilities. On the other hand, the market size of edible insects is growing exponentially. And so basically exceeding $2.8 billion in 2021, and it is estimated 7 more times for 2032. And in the future, we will sell our system to the animal and human food companies to promoting the growth of new entrepreneurs and their companies. And the most important thing is that we will change the life of thousands and millions of indigenous communities. In these ways, the dream of my father, that who is in the heaven, who is in paradise, come true. And so please meet our magnificent team around the world, biotechnologies, businesses, our partners globally. And so I really happy to lead Alikai to feed the future, feed the planet, feed those we love, and feed the environment at the same time. Alikai Fuktuk, the real sense of feeding. Thank you so much.
Now, over to the judges. Your time for Q&A starts now.
Sophia, what a beautiful venture. Absolutely amazing. I'm wondering if you were inspired by any entrepreneurs in particular as you got started.
I think the most great inspiration was my father and my mother, because we are indigenous. We are a part of indigenous community. It is a minority, and so it's so difficult to have opportunities. You know, in the mountains, we have a lot of big challenge. And my father and mother was the entrepreneurs. I think the entrepreneurship will save me, because with entrepreneurship journey, I can get in travel around the world and achieve several recognitions. So.
Sophia, lovely to hear what you're doing. It's a great inspiration. Did you think about, like, your product is so interesting and on economies of scale, it makes a lot of sense. Did you think of, the perception of eating insects for human beings could be a little bit tough? How about animals? Did you think of, like, having your product for animals as well?
Yeah, for sure. Basically, my product is the insect based flour, and you can put insect based flour as a protein supplement in all the snacks that you want for humans. Also, you can put in the feed for livestock, poultry, fish farming, pork, whatever you want, because it is really friendly to manage, and you can put for all entire animal food companies and for all human food industry. Yeah.
Thank you.
Sophia, congratulations. An amazing business working on a very important problem for the world. Feeding the 10 billion people that are going to be here by 2050 is a massive challenge. A simple question for you. So what would you do with the prize money if you won it today?
I have 3 points to invest the prize money. The first one is to obtain resources and machines to produce more biomass that currently we can produce. The second one is to improve the marketing area in order to promote the sales of our systems. And the last one is to create a channel to sell all of insect based flour for all industry.
Judges, thank you so much for your questions. Sophia, thank you, and best of luck here in the finals.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Our second student hails from Germany, and he is the inventor of Refresher Box, a device that's saving our environment one dirty sock at a time. Mentored by Avery Birch, please welcome Gernot Summerman.
My chat with Gernot was very exciting. Going in, I knew exactly what he needed. He was missing the human element. So I made sure to set the stage properly from the beginning to tell him that is the X factor he needs to win. Gernot is a true intellectual. He is brilliant, and because of that, there's a small difficulty to show one's true self. We knew that his product was excellent. We knew why he was doing it, but we didn't know who he was. If Gernot is able to truly tap into himself and tell the story of where he's come from and where he's going and the impact that he wants to bring to the world, I totally believe he'll take the win.
Gernot, welcome to the finals. Are you ready?
I am ready as a kid in a candy store.
Amazing. Judges, are you ready?
Absolutely.
Gernot, your time starts now.
We need to change our world for humans and for our Mother Nature. Walking up 1,000 stairs is exhausting, right? But a friend of mine, he cannot even come into my apartment with just 3 stairs. My name is Gernot Summerman, and I make the impossible possible. With the stair-climbing wheelchair, we helped David. Before that, I created a glove for the rehabilitation of the hand. And this taught me something, that I can create something where nothing has been before, such as in good old times building with Lego. And I'm here today to tell you about something that can not just change hundreds, millions of lives, but billions of lives. And nature. We destroy our nature with tons of textile waste, with microplastic, and soon we are not gonna have enough drinking water anymore. So I was thrilled when my friend jumped out of the shower. Not because of that, because of the initial idea. He is doing his PhD in chemistry and I'm doing mechanical engineering, forming the perfect bond to make the refresher box reality. For centuries, we are already washing. But why do we wash? We wash because our textiles smell. And just because of this smell, we are using 1 bathtub full of water plus detergent. I'm coming from Cologne in Germany, and we have a gigantic cathedral. And even this, you could fill more than 500 times with the detergent we are using for washing. But there is something to come. The refresher box. The refresher box uses no water and no chemicals. Small, medium, and large. Saving not just water and chemicals, but the microplastic, the transportation, the manufacturing, everything around it as well. How does it work? We use an intelligent combination of physical methods to eliminate the virus, the bacteria, the fungi in our textile, which is the origin of the smell. And this is proven, of course, in laboratories, in various laboratories. It is manufactured in Germany and we are certified. But not just that. A unique technology, of course, needs IP. So we have worldwide patents granted for this technology. And not just that. Of course, what is important to bring the product out there. So the refresher box stands in hospitals, it stands in shoe cleaning and more. Our biggest market right now is the hotel industry. For the customers right in the lobby, and this enables our marketing for B2C in the future. So we have this worldwide in hotels. But it is not just about our world. We also want to shoot it up into space because there are no resources at all, and bringing it into various other industries. To conclude, the refresher box works in 30 minutes. It doesn't harm your textile, and it is eco-friendly, saving 1 gigaton of CO2. But you already saw it. One question which is maybe in your head, how about stains? And yes, the next generation will be able to remove stains without water and chemicals. And this enables us to replace the 170 million washing machines manufactured every single year. But I couldn't do this alone. For that, the last brick comes in, a strong and diverse team from the RWTH Aachen University. And despite our knowledge, we cannot remember all of these washing symbols. Can you? So Our vision is that there is just one symbol, the refresher box, because that is the scent of innovation. Thank you so much.
What an amazing idea. My first question is that you clearly have a business proposal here, but do you also see this in the homes of consumers? And if so, is there the affordability that needs to be there when someone is considering an appliance in their home?
So, of course, right now our product seems to be quite high priced. So the small version is $1,000, the larger version is around $3,000, and the larger even more. But these are B2B prices, and currently we're focusing just on the B2B. So, as I said, like the hotel industry, I can just demonstrate the product.
Please.
I mean, that's why we brought it all the way from Germany. So you just have the hanger here. If you come back home or like into the hotel after an exhausting day, maybe you've been at some trade fair, you just hang any textile in there. It can be cashmere, it can be silk, it can be a suit, whatever textile. You just close the device and start the process. And after 30 minutes, it's done. So this is first of all how it works. But yes, the prices are currently quite high. We will be able to reduce that, especially with partners. So that's why I've been in Korea, for example, to discuss with LG and Samsung, how can we bring it out to more people? I need to admit, we're just a startup. We don't have the capabilities to replace immediately 170 million washing machines. So we need to partner up with someone who has this experience and power.
For me, it's a beautiful idea, very innovative, and sometimes you may say too good to be true, because I can see the potential of all this. It's wow, and all the things around the value that you're bringing to the world on several aspects. Have you pitched this? Did you get investments? And can you tell us a little bit about the revenues?
Thank you very much. So till the end of last year, we have been completely bootstrapped. So my co-founder and me put everything in there to make the global patents, to make the prototypes, and there are a lot of prototypes, and to make this happen. Then end of last year, we had our first business angel investment, because what we're looking for is to create impact. And what we don't find in VCs is this impact thinking. The first question which always comes is revenue. And what I expect as the first question, how much impact can you bring to this world?
Gernot, excellent pitch. I really think it's one of those ideas that you always say, damn, why didn't I think of that first? I suppose, can you talk me through IP, what's actually going on inside in there in the process?
So we have kind of two key sources of, how is it called? Like source of, the IP, let's say that. So the first one is that we combine these 4 physical methods, which is unique. There is not yet this combination. And this enables us to get into the textile itself. It doesn't need to be a t-shirt or whatever. It can even be a shoe that you put in there to get out the smell. So I do go running a lot. And after running a marathon, shoes can stink quite a lot. And of course, you cannot put them into the washing machine with all these material combinations. So this you can put in here, and even at the tip of your shoe, it will be disinfected. This is something we proved in the laboratories. Then the second thing is we are cleaning from the inside to the outside. And more or less, this is just logical. If you think about it, we all sweat from the inside to the outside. Why should we just wash everything like in our traditional washers and then also have the fibers going into our oceans and so on? So these are our key resources. So what you see that the adapter itself is a bit bigger because also technology is, of course, in there. Thank you very much. Dankeschön.
Koji is a new and innovative brand paving the way for food production. Making use of one of the key ingredients in Japanese cooking, Laura Perez is pioneering an approach to manufacturing produce for consumption. Mentored by Roxana Shershin and from Colombia, Let's welcome Laura.
I really enjoyed speaking with Laura, hearing more about her story, and getting a little bit more of that in-depth background. Like, I really enjoyed it when she started talking about what she loved and being able to tease out and say, all right, let's kind of cut this down, but everything you just said about what you love, let's see how we can inject that into your presentation. Your favorite thing, we're chopping it all up. Because she is so authentic, and the idea is just one of those ideas where when you hear it, you kind of like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. The idea of taking this ancient Asian method of preparing food and you bring it into Latin America, it's just fascinating, honestly. Her story and why she's driven to do this and bring that innovation to agriculture is just, it's a beautiful story. So she's got this.
Laura, bienvenida. Welcome to the finals.
Gracias.
Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
The floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. It's a great honor to be here. I'm Laura Perez. I'm 23 years old from Colombia. And this is a story of transformation. This story begins with Boyacá, a region full of nature and agriculture. My grandma, who looks like a little girl in this photo, came from the countryside, where the main job was to plant crops and raise livestock. She is my greatest inspiration because she allows my family to change her context by studying. I am a true believer. Dreams only come true if you act. So I decided to study business administration to honor her heritage by improving the difficult context of the countryside in which she grew up. Colombian countryside makes me realize that there is to be a change in food culture, in equality, in sustainability, in innovation. So I decided to act because I'm a believer of transformation. In a class about entrepreneurship, I met my business partner, a chemical engineer, who told me about koji-based fermentation, and I just fell in love with its potential of transformation. Koji is an ancient malt and has been the secret ingredient for all Japanese fermentation. We bring koji to add value to agriculture by enhancing the flavor, quality, nutrition, and preservation in food, having innovative and sustainable food products. And this is the axis of our food tech startup, Koji es Transformación. We're a food design and fermentation lab in which we design, prototype, and scale innovative food products of tomorrow, thanks to Koji efficiency, in which all our products are designed with a food design method and are desirable, viable, and feasible for customers. And this synergy is innovation. This allows us to be competitive and scalable worldwide. So we have two brands to scale a model: Koji Burger, products of animal origin, and Tropical Koji, products of plant origin. In Koji Burger, we have created a unique method in the world of beef aging, protected with a trade secret, in which we enhance the qualities of texture, juiciness, and flavor in beef, going from 40 days in the traditional dried method to only 72 hours. This is 90% more efficient in time and therefore in cost. We also promote 100% grass-fed regenerative livestock farming that allows us to capture carbon thanks to soil regeneration. Besides traditional beef, we compete with dried beef that enhance quality through a long and costly process of aging and use intensive livestock production to fatten cows. But we are competitive in terms of innovation, unique flavor called umami, sustainability, trade secret, scalability, and cost effectiveness. For our second brand, Tropical Koji, we have drinks, sauces, and condiments. And we recreate the Koji burger technique, but with coffee. And now we have a new novelty technique of coffee fermentation that achieve a premium quality in coffee with unique flavor notes. People that use Koji worldwide do it in an artisanal and small scale. So this is an opportunity for us because we bring innovation, sustainability, scalability, and food design to the game in order to jump from a small scale to large scale. We started our sellings in 2022 with $3,000 in sales, validating in organic market. In the Q1 of 2023, we increased our monthly sales by 4 times, thanks to the local FDA approval and our food design method. Since Q2 of 2023, we are the largest home delivery platform in Colombia and Latin America, Rappi, where we aspire to grow 26 times, meaning finishing the year with $58,000 in sales. And our projections are made with a worldwide mindset. This means finishing 2025 with $3,000 in sales. This is our team. Start with me and Juan Rubiano, the co-founders of Koji, our design team, our operation team, and key allies, Francesca Zampolo, our PhD in food design expert, and our university incubator. Knowledge allies with national and international universities and programs, sales through the slow food market in Latin America, online and retail stores, our online store, specialty and Michelin cuisines. And here, I look back to my beginnings, knowing that I'm creating a food chain thought and designed to regenerate the planet, because we can increase and enhance all kind of food in all kind of food industry by being highly efficient, cost-effective, trade secret, and with food design. Let's generate a folk culture, one innovative food product at a time. Thank you.
Laura, well done. Thank you for sharing more about Koji.
Thank you.
Judges, what questions do you have for Laura?
Laura, I'd love to hear what you're thinking of doing with the prize money if you were fortunate enough to win today, and what impact would that have for you?
Okay, that will be like foster our mission, like exporting not in 2025, but maybe in 1 year, like to fast track our dreams and our plans. So with that money, I can be in the all national retailers and in online retailers, but because it's like a huge market. So it's like a fast track. It's like an investment in our work, in innovation, in other kind of products. So it's just like a start for me.
Your grandmother,
Yeah.
su abuela, what would she say about this?
She will be so proud, first of all, because she used to live in a difficult context. They don't have like public services when she grew up, or maybe she can't having like another kind of products in their childhood. So I don't know, maybe she will be like proud because she teach me what she knows, that is believing in your dreams, believing in yourself, like be calm, be good, serve the world in your focus. So I don't know, maybe changing her context, the countryside context, will be like beyond words to her.
What did you learn out of all this?
Well, that's a difficult question, but I think I have learned three main things. First of all, the team, it's the biggest support for you. And the team has to be for a long time, not just in the 5 previous years, but in the whole company life. Second of all, I think that all you do with a mindset of service to the world can lead a change. So revenue and all that stuff will come, but the first thing you have to change is your own context and your own reality. And with Serve, you can impact the real context of your family, of your ancestors, of your country, and all of Latin America full culture. I imagine that with this, we can increase like food innovation, because other startups will think about it and will be worried about, she's making a change, so I will make another kind of change, another kind of innovation. Thank you.
Well done.
Paper and textile manufacturing methods have been threatening our ecosystem for many years. Our next student hails from Mexico and started Selalmex as a solution to this problem. Mentored by Jital Shah, please welcome Adolfo Vidal.
I just finished my mentoring session with Adolfo, and it was very enlightening. I like the kid. I like his energy. He has that thirst for learning. His biggest challenge is he needs to kind of get everything together in a more refined way, considering now we are at the finals and we are not at a chapter level competition. He knows his business. That's most important. But how to put it in 5 minutes, which is a challenge for everyone, and how to keep the judges engaged. And if you win, you owe me a tequila.
Obviously, I'll send some tequila for you.
Yes. I'm going to do my very best to ensure that the cup goes home with him and the tequila bottle comes to me.
Hi, Adolfo. Are
Hi.
you ready?
Yeah.
Your time to pitch starts right now.
Today, I shouldn't be here. I come from Tabasco, Mexico, the world's place to study in my homeland, where entrepreneurs are extremely rare. But I'm here today to bring the flavor and add some Tabasco sauce to the business world. Hola, I am Adolfo Ruiz, a biotech senior student, and my entrepreneurial journey began when I was just 14 years old, when my dad was diagnosed with terminal cancer. And due to that, he lost all his mobility. He went to all kinds of doctors and received all kinds of therapies, but sadly he passed away when I was just 15. And watching him struggle in a wheelchair every day was heartbreaking. But thanks to a science competition, I discovered that I could do something for him. So I created IM, a motorized wheelchair adapter to facilitate the mobility of people with motor disabilities. And I wish my dad was still here to see it because I initially did it for him. And thanks to the love for my dad and my obsession for solving a mobility problem, I discovered that science was my true vocation. With this, I entered Mexico's best university with an 80% of scholarship to study biotechnology. And there I discovered where life was taking me. Years later, in my 2021 spring break vacation, I went to a pineapple farm at Tabasco, and I discovered a huge problem of agro waste and that farmers have to pay a lot of money to have this waste removed. And there Selen was born in my heart. We're a startup that transforms agro waste into sustainable raw materials, and each kilogram of waste that we transform means additional income for farmers. Because imagine living with $4 a day and having to support a whole family. That's impossible. And our business, well, we produce and sell cellulose and starch. But why? Because companies are looking for new sustainable raw materials to produce packaging, containers, and auto parts. With this, our goal is to help over 3 million farmers to increase their incomes and their quality of life. And luckily, we're at the perfect time to do this because there is a market opportunity of $400 billion. That's why, by 2029, we want to be producing 1,000 tons of our products because there's a market that supports it. And this will give us the possibility to become the first Mexican biotech and social unicorn in entire history. And good news, we're actually running a pilot plant where we produce 70 kilograms of our products to 4 companies in Mexico. And one of them is the biggest producer of water containers in Latin America. That's why we have letters of intent to purchase 8 tons of our products monthly. And as I speak, well, we're looking for $240,000 for the planning of a factory that will enable our impact to grow. And now you may be asking, how am I gonna make this big, right? Well, I'm part of a team of warriors. You're seeing at the screen my business partners. At the left is Eduardo, a top researcher in my college. And at the right is Oscar, Mexico's best candy grocer. And we believe in giving others the opportunity to develop their talents. That's why we've worked with different students all over Mexico. And together we have published science articles and been advised by Mexico's most important researchers and the biggest producer of cellulose in Latin America. Thanks to our efforts, institutions such as MIT and Babson College have recognized us as agents of change, and that we have the ability to create a circular economy in the world. But before I continue, I want to ask myself a question that I want you all to hear. Will my 15-year-old self believe that we will be working on making the world greener? I actually don't know. But what I'm sure of is that from above, my dad believes that Selalmex will add some Tabasco sauce to the business world. You know, despite all the challenges I faced, I've learned that success always requires help. That's why during the COVID pandemic, I organized an entrepreneurship bootcamp to motivate young people, because I want to be the support they wish I had when I started. You see, on Monday, I was in a vineyard here in Cape Town, and I realized the potential that Selalmex has to transform their ways too. This means that our impact will be felt worldwide. You know, today I shouldn't be here, but I am to show young entrepreneurs that we can achieve our dreams too, besides all the problems we have to face. I am the CEO of Selalmex, a Mexican startup that produces sustainable raw materials in a massive market and committed to help over 3 million farmers. Crazy, right? But this is only the beginning. Gracias and thank you for listening to me.
Adolfo, well done. You have definitely sprinkled some Tabasco sauce on this competition.
Thank you.
Great job, Adolfo. Amazing. You're doing very, very big things. What's the most challenging part of your work?
The most challenging part of my work is being in touch with all the farmers. I mentioned that our goal is to help farmers, so we have to be with them. And it's difficult because they are like far from the cities, and where they are working, it's like too dangerous. And I have to tell you something that happened to me. When we were starting working with farmers, we went to a very dangerous place in Mexico where people is kidnapped there. So my business partners were together there, and I came by myself. And it was very scary because the taxi took another road that it wasn't supposed to be. I was thinking that I was going to get kidnapped, but I didn't get kidnapped. And after that, and after we started working with farmers, I've asked myself, why did I do that? Why did I put my life on risk? And I noticed that I'm in love with the problem, in love with all this thing of entrepreneurship, that we can impact real lives.
Tell us about today. What you're saying that your dream is to impact 3 million farmers, and that's beautiful. What have you done so far? What's the impact today of the beautiful business that you have built?
We are actually helping 8 farmers in southern Mexico, and we want to scale up this impact. So we are like looking forward to new farmers. We know that there's 1,000 farmers in that zone of Mexico, but as I told you, we do not only just use pineapple waste. We know that there's banana waste and agave waste, and we are looking forward to map the whole quantity of farmers that we have in Mexico so that we can reach 3 million farmers. And with these 8 farmers that I mentioned you, we have helped them with $25 each. I know that it's not a lot of money, but it's way bigger than the salary that they have per day, that it's $4.
I'd like to try and understand a bit more from the end user point of view. So in terms of the people who are buying the cellulose and the starch, what is the value proposition for them? Is it saving money? Is it environmental credentials? What is the compelling reason to work with you?
Yeah, these raw materials are for making new bio-based plastics. That's why I mentioned auto parts and that kind of things. And it's not the same as biodegradable plastics. And like our unique value is that we offer like quality raw materials, but in a sustainable way. And also I want to mention here that with these companies can become like more sustainable. We are in a world that is facing a lot of problems. And with our products, we are saving per ton 34 trees. Now you can imagine what we can do if we had 1% of the market. That's like the main value of all.
Adolfo, well done y muchísimas gracias.
Thank you, gracias.
Scientist and entrepreneur Selen Senal is combating climate change with her company AlgaBio. By using algae to treat our wastewater, she is making it safe for reuse. From Turkey and mentored by Dennis Vilovic, please welcome Selin.
Merhaba, Selen. How are you doing?
Merhaba, I am fine.
The mentoring with Selen worked really well. We spent an hour together going through the pitch, identifying some areas we can cut out. But I mean, the story is very strong, and I'm very excited listening to the final pitch. This is incredible, really. Selen appears at the beginning a bit shy, because maybe it's as well normal. She's a scientist, and scientists normally, forgive me if I'm wrong, but are not necessarily the best sellers. But she has something incredible, and she has achieved a lot. And so I was really trying to tell her how amazing it is actually what she has done so far already, and the opportunity she has. And I think it helped to create some confidence for her. Selen will win the finals because she has built an incredible business, has incredible traction, has a real passion for what she does, and solves a problem which affects humanity.
Selin, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
The floor is yours.
Hi, I am Selen, grad student in biotechnology, scientist, and the founder of AlgaBio. Carbon dioxide level doubling due to greenhouse gas emissions from facilities. Discharging of industrial wastewater from same facilities into our oceans is creating problems like mucilage, eutrophication, ocean acidification. Luckily, AlgaBio has the solution. In our circular economy model, we are trading industrial wastewater and capturing carbon dioxide with algae in our bioreactors. Then, the cleaned water is provided back to the facilities as an irrigational or processed water, while algae mass is used to produce biofuels. At the end of this process, we get some algal waste as a valuable resource for bioplastic generation. Here is Akbay's operational pilot located in Istanbul, Turkey, with volume of 5 tons. For 1 acre of algae, Akbay has potential to remove up to 2.7 tons of carbon dioxide per day. We also treat industrial wastewater up to 98% to protect biodiversity in life below water. Our customers are including municipalities, industrialists, and more to achieve them with Green Deal targets, comply them with waste and emission regulations, and become a carbon neutral. Akbay targets over $22.5 billion market of carbon dioxide emitting industrial facilities, aiming to reach 5% by 2030. Our business model consists of B2B direct sales, where we directly integrate our IGAT treatment systems into customers' facility, and strategic partnership to produce byproducts and generate carbon credits by sharing revenue from each stream. We projected over $120 billion in revenue by fifth year, with annual gross margin target of 38%. Established in 2021, Akbay was selected as the best science and technology innovation by United States Department of State and the deep tech pioneer by Hello Tomorrow. Then we scaled in the United States and we took our first European Commission grant this year. Our team consists of whole female engineers who are crushing it in bio and energy engineering. As the founder of Akbay, I have firsthand seen the devastating effects of air and water pollution on our environment in Istanbul, sparking my passion about the environment. In grad school, I researched algae and wrote thesis about sustainable circular economy model by doing experiments, as you can see on the left side. Then I thought I had to introduce my R&D studies to the industrialists in order to move from laboratory benches to the real environment. That's when I realized I had an entrepreneur spirit. Then I explained my thesis to the big boys of Turkish Industrialists Association and Istanbul Metropolitan Municipality. They liked what they heard and they gave me a big greenhouse and the reactor to prove my MVP. As a woman and a student, I was the one that handled the industrial waste, fueling the reactors with the barrels and generates bioenergy and capture carbon dioxide. Despite the challenges, I embraced entrepreneurship, showcasing my MVP to the conferences, even brought the kitchen table from my home and learning business setup to accelerators. Then I team up with my researcher friends to create an industry-integrated pilot facility while concurrently pursuing my doctoral thesis on IGAT biotechnology, fueling commitment to the academic excellence as a biotech entrepreneur. No doubt this journey hasn't been easy. Gender bias still is a prevalent issue in the industrial sector, making it hard for me to secure funding. But the hardest thing for me was finding both female and scientist role model that trying to tear down the industry like me from our age. My role model from closest era is Marie Curie, who founded radioactivity. Fast forward to 2021, I was selected as the youngest delegate of SDGs by United Nations, and I am on the Fortune 40 under 40 list in Turkey. I had the opportunity to guide multiple female entrepreneurs to achieve their dreams in my country, in Turkey. Winning the GSEA will not only make me the modern-day Marie Curie, but also help to inspire countless female scientists to become entrepreneur global and granting me to the access of funding for the worldwide growth. Apart from the profitability, Akbay has at least 10 positive impacts on corporate sustainable development goals. To see more, please visit akbay.co on social and akbay.com. Thank you.
Judges, over to you for your questions for Selin.
Selin, amazing work, great job. How did you meet your all-female team and how do you support each other in such a male-dominated industry?
Actually, we met in the academy and entrepreneurship ecosystem in Turkey. They're always working with the laboratory and they are doing different kinds of projects about the sustainability. For example, Seljan is writing a sustainability report on the green hydrogen, wind turbines and more. And Jada is also working on algae to produce some types of bioplastics, pigments. So we met in academy and then we built something sustainable together by putting all our knowledge on this work.
Lovely to hear your story. How are you perceiving to overcome the funding problem that you are facing?
Normally, at the beginning of this process, I didn't get any funding. So I took lots of risks, including take a loan from the banks to make ICBIO's facility real. Then I wrote governmental projects, including European Commission, Turkish government, United States Department of State, and more. Then I took accepted from all over the world, and they gave me some types of grants. These are small amount of grants, but in Turkey, this is really valuable for us, so we can build our first MVPs.
I'd like to understand what is your roadmap for the next 18 months, and if you were to win the prize money today, what impact would that have, and what would you use the cash prize specifically for?
Actually, our roadmap is like, normally we scaled in the United States last year, at the end of last year, but we didn't meet our potential customers in the United States yet. With this grant, with this award, we will go to the United States to meet potential customers, to do our first MVP in the United States, to expand into the United States market, because they much more care about the environment. They have huge capital for this type of investments. So we need to go there to take huge investments to make ICBIO's pilot to the big facility.
Canadian entrepreneur David Hodgson's goal is to reimagine the old school inhaler. His company is called Hollow Medical, and he was mentored by Shafiq-ur-Rahman. Let's welcome David.
I just finished the mentoring session with David prior to the finals, and I think the session was great. He really understood the areas that he needed to work on. I think the biggest challenge right now is compressing that story into 5 minutes. He's got a great story. There was hardly anything left for the judges to ask after this last pitch, so he's doing very well. What really makes his idea most attractive for me, being from the healthcare background myself, is we've come across the challenges that people suffering from respiratory health conditions face, and he came in and he saw that as an area that could be improved further. And he really worked on the human side of it all. Medical devices could be a very technical area to work on, but he saw the whole human experience and the need for him to improve on that, on the same for children mainly. I absolutely think David's going to win the finals. There's no doubt in my mind, because he's got a fantastic story. The work he's doing is truly amazing, and it has the opportunity to really disrupt the whole respiratory health market.
All right, so my name's David. I'm a graduating medical student, and I'm proud to be representing Canada. But before I tell you about myself, I'd love to tell you about my dad. Like many of you, my dad is my hero. He was a colonel in the Canadian military, and I always thought he was invincible. He was a born leader. He taught me everything I know about hockey, to the idea of giving 100% to everything in life. When I was 13, we moved overseas, which was one of my life's greatest privileges so far. But I had to leave behind everything I ever knew. And it was the resilience of my dad, a man that would run 40 kilometers a week on his lunch break, that taught me to run headfirst into the unknown, and gave me the courage to fall in love with solving complex problems, become the first engineer in my family, and find my way to the Motor City, where I invented a device to secure children safely in vehicles that's now in hundreds of thousands of cars. But I was now an ocean away from my dad, and I started facing opinions like this. It's always been done this way. Don't waste your time. And you can imagine this was discouraging, but I remembered his will to never give up and started my first business where I supported anyone, from students to professionals, in bringing their ideas to life. I went on to invent a radioactive drug delivery device that can extend the lives of those living with liver cancer, and realized my passion for medicine, but my thirst for more education. And when the COVID pandemic hit, I started medical school. 2 years into my degree, I got a call from my mom. She found my dad leaning against the garage, struggling to breathe. He was suffering from a severe pneumonia, and it was so bad that his lungs became permanently scarred. And I was devastated to find that the man that used to take me on runs so long I felt I was going to vomit now struggled to walk across his garden, that he wasn't invincible. And it was here that I realized that breathing is the essence of life itself, and that I couldn't focus on anything, knowing that someone like my dad couldn't do something so fundamental. And as he reached for an inhaler for the first time in his life, I knew that 90% of those who pick up an inhaler don't receive the medication properly. So I now felt I had a duty to become a leader myself and use my passion for invention to help. But before I continue, I want all of us to breathe together. In and out. It's pretty comfortable, right? That's the normal rate of breathing. Let's try it a little quicker this time. In, out, in, out, in, out. Let's stop now. We're fortunate. We have the privilege to stop, but a staggering amount of people in our world don't. I've had patients describe it like breathing through a straw, and many of us can only imagine how scary that is. That's why today I want to tell you how Hollow can impact the lives of millions living with respiratory illness. Like Sophia, just 6 years old with asthma so severe, she's been in the emergency department 3 times in the last year. And just imagine how scary that is for her and her family. She was treated with an inhaler and a holding chamber. And you can see that's a massive device. From home to school to soccer practice, her breathing relies on that. In fact, everyone is recommended to use a chamber with their inhaler, but because of embarrassment and stigma, as few as 10% do. And this results in unacceptable complications. But they're necessary, and that's because the inhaler is difficult to use on its own. It blasts the dose at 100 kilometers an hour. The chamber allows patients like Sophia to get the drug to the lungs where it's needed. So our mission is simple. Let's get more people using this helpful device by eliminating stigma. Because no one wants to carry a thermos, right? But everyone carries a cell phone nowadays. So I introduced to you the Breezy Chamber. We've reinvented this device from the ground up to fit comfortably in a pocket, but it's so cool, you wouldn't even want to hide it there. We asked ourselves, why should a child have to carry this massive device when they can comfortably carry the Breezy Chamber in their pocket? And we worked with hundreds of patients to make sure we had a solution not just to survive with anymore, but to thrive. And that's because over 7% of our globe lives with chronic respiratory illness, rising due to COVID-19, an aging population and rising pollution levels. And it's our mission to slow this progression with the help of our global distribution provider that can get our device to the pockets of millions of patients rapidly. And you might ask yourself, what's it like running a company in the middle of medical school? And all I can say is you can't do it alone. But I'm fortunate that my partner in life and partner in Hollow is Sarah, and she's a medical device engineer and a strong woman in tech. And we're supported by an expert international clinical advisory board that need the Breezy Chamber for their patients. Because Hollow is going to help millions of patients that enter our healthcare system each year and hundreds of thousands that never make it home. And though this is just the beginning, I would never be here if it weren't for my father. And it's for that reason that when life makes it hard to breathe, all I have to do to keep running forward is ask myself one question. How can I make the greatest impact in a single lifetime? Thank you.
Amazing job, David. Thank you for sharing this. I think it's so cool that you are working together with your partner as a team. How do you guys have to support each other? Do you find you have to separate life and work just for your own relationship?
100%. I think first and foremost, I think it's one of the best things we could have done for each other, particularly when life gets busy, the fact that you can share some of your professional life and the ups and downs together. She brings out the best of me personally and professionally, so that's, I probably wouldn't be here if it weren't for her. That said, that means that if you're sharing those experiences, those ups and downs, sometimes you don't have that person to lean on because you need to lean on each other, and maybe one of us isn't strong enough to do so. So it helps to have a strong support network even outside of ourselves, and I think that's what keeps us going.
Beautiful invention and much needed as we are hearing and learning. Can you tell us more about the success that you've done so far and the potential of the growth that you're planning to?
For sure. So, as I emphasized, this is a massive problem. These inhalers are used globally. They're the most commonly used inhaler, but the market with these chambers is quite stagnant, and patients are forced to live with something that they're not happy with, that they can't adopt into their life because it's the only option. And the opportunity here is very large in the sense that there are, tens of millions of patients living with this solution. And even industry is acknowledging, some of the big distributors are really excited wherein they've seen the gap in the market and they've signed a letter of intent with us worth nearly $3 million, even pre-market, to get this device out rapidly to the patients. And so I think that's the biggest sign of support, but along the way, we've won multiple national awards, nearly $500,000 to support our development so far. Everywhere we go, there are people that tell us, if you're in a group of 5 people, there's at least one that's experienced this and that problem resonates with. So that speaks for itself, I think.
A couple of things are running around in my head. So the first question I have is that obviously there's a traditional device that's been there for a while. Why has no one stepped up to solve this problem yet?
It's a great question. And that's, it's a question I asked myself 2 years ago. Why are the top 3 market leaders basically the exact same as what I pulled out of my pocket here? And why is that the go-to for patients when there's a better possibility out there? And what I've seen is that based on a lot of our market research, for some reason, attention has been drawn away, likely because these are selling and they're working and they're the most recommended chamber. So why would they need to do anything different? They rely on decades of data that supports the use of these devices. So it's an uphill battle to go back in R&D and essentially compete with themselves. That's the rationale that I come up with personally. But for me, my life is always about finding a problem that no one else seems to want to solve. And therein lies the opportunity here to come at it from a totally different angle.
David, thank you and good luck in the competition.
Thank you.
The moment has arrived. Who will be crowned GSEA Champion 2023? This year, we've decided to up the ante. Our 4th, 5th, and 6th place contestants will each walk away with $5,000. The student in 3rd place wins $15,000. Followed by 2nd place, winning $25,000. And the winner of this year's competition will walk away with the grand prize of $50,000. The scores have been tallied. And now, in 3rd place, Laura Perez.
All the effort you have been working through the years are represented in this competition. And I think that for all the entrepreneurs, it's the same. We all have the same dream, but having the win is just not the award, it's just some cheering in each other. And maybe it's a chance to other entrepreneurs believe in themselves. She won, I can do it.
In 2nd place, Gernot Summerman.
Being awarded for what you have done in the past, but it also sets the way for the future, that you can inspire even more people to do something about pollution, about education, about climate change, about hunger, poverty. And therefore it's super nice to be able to inspire more people to do something.
And the winner of GSEA 2023 is David Hodgson!
Everything that we've been working for is just coming to life. It's one of those things that you can't really plan in life, and there's moments where you take opportunities, you take shots to really make a difference, and sometimes it doesn't work, sometimes it does. So to win, it's that push that we need to keep going. So it's huge.
I love David's product. His innovation is so much needed, and I think a lot of us in the world will appreciate it.
David really brought awareness to something I think many people do not know about, and yet many, many people are struggling with.
Human health, one of the most important things in the world. A very simple solution to a very simple problem, incredibly compelling, and no doubt will be seen all around the world, and it's going to be great to follow his journey.
And there we have it. A massive congratulations to all 6 of our finalists, and especially to our GSEA 2023 champion. David, congratulations. You are the winner of GSEA 2023. How do you feel?
I mean, it feels unreal. This is a huge validation for everything we've been working on, not just me, but everyone back home and all the people we're doing it for.
Absolutely. And you and the team at Hollow Medical have just won $50,000. Tell us, what are you going to do with it?
I mean, this is going to be a huge step to bringing this to life and bringing this to millions of patients by next year. So really stoked.
David, congratulations. So thank you to our fantastic judges for their expertise. These studentpreneurs have really shown us how to live the values of EO, and the tenacious spirit of entrepreneurship lives in each of them. Thank you to everyone for joining us on this remarkable journey. I'm Nicole Bannister, and this is Started Up.